All right, now we're going to talk about how much milk do you use to make sure that you have the perfect latte. It's very important that you're measuring out your milk, or that you're not using way too much milk or not having enough milk. You'll notice that we have different size pitchers that we use for different size drinks. So I will often pick, based on whatever drink it is that I'm going to use, I'll pick the pitcher for that drink. So if I'm doing like maybe a 10 or 12 ounce latte, I will grab this pitcher, which I believe is a 16 ounce. Is that a 16 ounce? Something like that. But I'll use this pitcher, and I'm only filling it to the bottom of the spout at most for my 12 to 16 ounce latte. For my regular 6 to 8 ounce cappuccino every day, I'm filling it just about halfway. But how did I know that? Well, what I did is I measured out my cups. So the cups that I use on a regular basis, I get to know them. You should know the cups at your cafe and how much milk to use. When you're doing a latte, you want to make sure that you measure out the cold milk to about 2/3 of the way of your cup, because obviously you're going to be adding the shots in there, but milk expands. If properly steamed, it should expand about 30%. So I've measured that out, 2/3 of this cup or a little bit more, and that's how I know that this comes right to about the halfway mark between the bottom and the spout. That should be the perfect amount of milk that I need to pull my latte. Now, I want to have a little bit extra, because when you're pulling through your heart or your Rosetta, whatever shape it is that you're making your tulip, you're landing a little bit of milk on the counter. You want to pull all the way through, and there should be just a little bit left in the pitcher, but not very much. So the size pitcher you use does impact the latte in the end. You want to use the right size pitcher for the right size drink that you're making.
There will be times that you might be caught in the weeds and you have a huge line and you're not able to individually steam for each drink, and you're having to do a lot. At that point, it's really hard to pull off latte art, so don't get caught up on that. I mean, obviously, you have to get through the demand, but if people are willing to wait, it's worth the time to steam coffee for each individual drink, which gives you the proper ratio of milk to foam, and then allows you to actually create your masterpiece latte art.
Well, I'll tell you a quick story. Jake and I used to do drinks at an Air Force Academy football team. We do like 1,300 drinks, I think it was, or 1,200 drinks in 4 hours. Our bar was backed up. He and I are both back there on a 4-group machine doing our drinks and pulling them like crazy. At that point, we couldn't worry about latte art, right? But in a very busy cafe, you could have several different pitchers and still be doing latte art. Latte art's not impossible for a busy cafe. I know some people think it is. It's not. You can still do latte art, but you want to make sure that you know the ratio of your cups, you know what fits in what pitcher, and that you're grabbing the right pitcher to hopefully execute something that looks beautiful. Even if it's not a 15-leaf Rosetta, it's at least a nice shape, a heart, an apple, something on the top, and you're handing that across the counter. So you can do it, but make sure you know your pitcher size. Make sure you know your milk ratio.
Another critical thing about picking the right size pitcher is to make sure that you're steaming milk in the appropriate amount, because this is critical when it actually comes to rolling those micro bubbles into the milk itself. If you have too little milk at the bottom of a too large of a pitcher, what you're going to end up with is a lot of large bubbles. You're not going to be able to create deep current and drive that foam deeply into the milk and folding it in with the current of the steam wand. So that's critically important to the end texture of your milk, is to have that appropriate size in the appropriate size pitcher.
So just using this size cup with this size milk, I know this middle pitcher is the best for about this 8 ounce, 10 ounce latte. If I use this, then I have enough room to roll it. If I use a small one, I'm too close to the top. So once I'm doing the steaming, it's not going to roll enough, or it'll roll over the edge. So too small is also important. In the same way, like Jake said, if I use this big pitcher, I'm probably not getting enough roll to the milk, which is going to be key to get those micro bubbles. So pick the right size pitcher for sure. Good point.